fun coin show in Orlando is a staple of the annual Numismatic calendar with very good reason, and the 2020 show certainly didn't disappoint, with Heritage's signature US coins auction raising over $41 million for nearly 3,900 rare coins, with one of those coins selling for well over $2 million. Stick around to find out which one. To kick off is one of the most sought-after variety coins of the modern era. This is the 1969 S double-die Obverse Lincoln penny, an absolutely stunning example of classic Class 1 rotated hub doubling. Not only is the doubling clearly visible to even the naked eye, but the current example has some of the most eye-pleasing red luster that you are likely to find on a coin like this. With its grade of MS63 red from PCGS, the coin easily obtained $40,800 at the auction event. The first documented case of actual California Gold Rush gold being struck into coin form belongs to that of the little-known firm of Norris, Gregg & Norris. With this 1849 gold $5 coin began the myriad of privately struck California gold issues that were to follow. The coin was first noted in the California newspaper The Alta California on the 31st of May 1849, while the editors described the coin as, although bearing the inscription of San Francisco, having been actually struck in Benicia City, California instead. This is of the plain edge variety of this coin and is graded by PCGS as AU58 and obtained a price of $36,000 at auction. Few coins have generated such interesting debate and research within the past decade as the Continental Dollars. Once firmly believed to have been intended to replace the paper currency issues by the early Continental Congress, minted most likely in New York but perhaps in Philadelphia. This has now been brought into question by research that suggests that they may have even been struck for profit or marketed as a type of souvenir of the New World for European gentry inclined to collect such. Of course, the debate does continue, and no real definitive proof can be tabled by either side at this point. This rare pewter example bearing the E.G. Fessett inscription, meaning that someone with the initials of E.G. made it, which Eric Newman believed to be an individual by the name of Elijah Gallaudet, was slabbed by NGC with the grade of MS63 to achieve a price of $72,000 at auction. An absolutely beautiful example of the New England Shilling, a seminal piece of the American numismatic puzzle, was also featured at the event. These early coins were struck only for around 7 weeks and were the frontrunners of what we call today the willow, oak, and pine tree coins. In May of 1652, the General Court of the Massachusetts Bay Colony authorized, and I quote, that all persons whosoever have liberty to bring unto the Mint House at Boston all bullion, plate, or Spanish coin, there to be melted and brought to the alloy of sterling silver by John Hull, Master of the Mint, and his sworn officers, and by him to be coined into 12, 6, and 3d pieces. And so, these 12 pence or shilling pieces were in fact born. A rudimentary coin to be certain, but one of foundational importance in the journey to create a truly American coinage system that would of course culminate with the creation of the US Mint in 1792. Nearly 140 years later, PCGS gave this coin a grade of AU53 and at auction it sold for $186,000. While collecting branchment coins is commonplace today, with most collectors assembling a complete PDS set of their coins, it was simply not even on the radar of most collectors in the 19th century. Widespread attention was only brought onto the subject at any real scale after Augustus Heaton published his treatise on the subject in 1893. So, with nearly all of the relatively small mintage of 1.2 million 1892 S Morgan dollars entering circulation at the time, very few mint state examples were in fact preserved. Although obtainable in lower grades, this coin poses a very significant challenge in gem grade coins today as a result, with this particular MS66 example from PCGS managing to sell at auction for $192,000. Coins which generally elicit much wonder and excitement are the $4 Stella pieces, a coin with a muddled origin story, mired in schemes of self-enrichment, political misconduct, and somewhere along the line, genuine earnest intent. The coin was never actually authorized for circulation, and as such remains, in the strictest sense, a pattern coin today, but one that collectors have become so enamored by that it is considered a must-have for any serious collection. The current example is one of the 425 flowing hair Stellas struck for 1879, replete with the customary striations across Liberty's cheek that remains a subject of some debate to this day. Graded here by PCGS as Proof 67 Cameo, it attained $276,000 at auction. And then, who doesn't love the flowing hair silver dollar coin? The nation's first ever silver dollar, only minted in 1794 and 1795, with this one being one of those very first 1,758 coins struck in 1794. Today, however, it is estimated that fewer than 150 of these coins still survive. A study by Jack Collins suggests 120 to 130 pieces, while the standard reference on the subject by Martin Logies lists 125 known coins. This coin was authenticated and graded by PCGS as VF35 and has a provenance that traces it back to the Thomas Elder sale of 1910, where it sold for $150. In 2020, however, it sold at auction for $288,000. And then from there we look at a very rare single-year type coin in the form of the 1796 No Stars Quarter Eagle, so named for the fact that the obverse design of this particular coin displays none of the customary stars around the rim. These were the very first coins of this new gold $2.50 denomination, and only 963 coins were struck before the design was altered later in the year to include the aforementioned stars. As such, we get the stars and no stars types for this particular first year of issue coin. The current example was graded by NGC as an MS63 and was here sold at auction for the amount of $300,000. As early as 1791, Alexander Hamilton advocated for the creation of a gold $1 coin as a circulating coin to be introduced along with the nation's first coins. However, his peers and mint officials were resistant to this idea, and it wasn't until 1849, when the gold rush was in full swing, when the mint actually started striking such coins. The first iterations of these coins were, well, to put it frankly, poorly designed, and suffered from soft strikes as a result. Not that you'd know that by looking at this proof coin, apart from some slight weakness in the 8 of the date perhaps, but proof coins were still a relative oddity for the US Mint during this period, and less than 10 coins were likely struck, only 7 of which are still known to exist today. Of those, this is the finest known, with a grade of Proof 66 Star Ultra Cameo from NGC, which saw this coin selling for $336,000 at auction. And then, the coin I'm sure we've all been waiting for, the 1927 D Saint-Gaudens Double Eagle. In terms of 20th century issues, this is the lowest mintage regular issue coin with a mintage of only 180,000 coins. But, as is so often the case, the story doesn't quite end there, as most of these coins were never actually released by the mint, and were then subsequently destroyed after the gold recall of 1933. So then, the question becomes, how many of these coins really still exist today? Most reference books will tell you that there are around 15 to 18 of these coins extant, which is a fine estimate. However, the population report only reflects 13 grading events, 9 at PCGS and 4 at NGC, some of which we know to be resubmissions or crossovers. So then, examining the provenances, we can establish 7 coins in private collections, 2 additional coins which have established provenances but haven't been seen in decades, one last seen in 1973 and another which can be traced up to the Eastern University sale in 1957, but hasn't been seen since. The whereabouts of these 2 specimens are currently unknown. And then we have 4 additional coins which are in permanent institutional collections, one at the Museum of Connecticut History in Hartford, and then, as an embarrassment of riches, the Smithsonian is curating 3 of these coins, bringing the known population up to 13 coins total. And then, to put that into its proper context, that means that the 1804 dollar is more populous than the 1927 D Double Eagle. This specimen is graded by PCGS as MS65 Plus and managed a closing price of $2,160,000 at auction. Subscribe to WNN and activate the notification bell so you'll know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.